All right, we have a problem that has quite a bit of data in it that we're going to try to look at. And remember, it's going to be either one of three problems. It's a building the ratio, changing the ratio, or using conversion factors along the way. And I think we have that latter one, using conversion factors along the way. What sort of tips us off is one, just seeing all the different conversion factors you have. So for example, we can see within this one question as we read it, there's some information that we can put into ratios. So, I mean, it's obvious right here we have some ratio or conversion factor for the amount of cents in 1 gram of copper. So 0.96 cents worth of copper for every gram. That's said to be the dollar value of copper. I guess it's cent value, but we'll change it to dollar if we need to. Then they have this 95% by weight of a penny is copper. So what that is also a ratio, because if you see a percentage, just like on a quiz or a test, you didn't get all the points. Let's say you got 90% of the points. So that's like a 90 over 100, points over points. In this case, it's 95 grams or 0.95 grams of copper for every 1 gram of pennies. That's another ratio. Then there's one here that says 1,072 pennies, they say, fill a pint. So we can make a ratio there. So we're starting to pick up, I hope, as you read this, that there's a lot of conversion factors. So right there, you want to start sort of leaning towards, hey, what I'm going to do is three things. I'm going to, one, find the end, two, find the beginning, and then try to fill in with those box cars or those conversion cars in the middle, such that as you remember, you're going to always be canceling units as you go. It's your safety rails for this manipulation. So let's find the end point. It says, the current dollar, what is the dollar value of 8 quarts of pennies? So they should add a question mark there. So they're wanting to know the dollar amount you would have of those 8 quarts of pennies that are in somebody's attic, and it's actually someone from work that I know that their mother had squirreled away, not just pennies, but in the 80s to 90s to 2000. The old pennies, the ones that are more valuable, they're more copper. They weigh 3.11 grams. Anything over, after 82 was weighed less. Anything before 82 weighs about 3.11 grams. So what's our starting point? Well, you would agree, I hope, that if you want to know how much money you have in the attic, you got to figure out how many total pennies you have. So we're going to put 8 quarts over here. We're going to squeeze it in because it's going to be a lot of conversions that we have to use. And so what I'll do is I'll start looking for something that has quarts or some volume measurement of the pennies, because that's what this is referring to. Well, you don't see that here. There's no volume unit. There's no volume unit here. But we do see, this says there's 1,072 pennies fills 1 pint. I think this is from the internet, just a guesstimation of how many pennies roughly fill up a pint. So we could say, well, I don't have a pint, but I have a quart. And I know that for this one, the number of pints in a quart is 2. So I can say 2 pints is in every quart. I guess 4 quarts to a gallon, 2 pints to a quart, and things like that. I don't expect that you may not know that, but those things will be given to you if they're not common knowledge. Things that are common certainly would be 365 days in a year, 7 days in a week, those things. But there we go, that's our first one, and that gets us to pints from quarts, so we can cross out as we go. We went from quarts to a unit of volume that's in pints, and the reason we did that is because we saw this. If I can get to pints, I know that for 1 pint, I can fill it up with about 1,072 pennies. And we're going to just use P for pennies since we're going to have a lot in this space. And we're moving on. So we used our first one there, kind of just exit out in red, and we used our 8 quarts. But we have other conversion factors, and hopefully one of them talks about a penny. Well, we can say this. I know that 95% of 1 penny is copper. So That's going to be by weight. So I'm not there yet. I need to find the weight of a penny. So I'm going to, oh, well, here's something. That's grams of copper. I get this much. Let's see if we have a way to move from, so how about, oh yeah, here we go. It said the penny, didn't catch this one. The old penny weighs 3.11 grams. So I can say 1 penny. And now I have the total weight of 1 penny, and now I can start jumping down into that 95% by weight. I can say, well, it's not the whole weight of this that's copper, but for every 1 gram of penny, I have 0.95 grams of what? Hope you're saying copper. That's what the 95%. So you can write it as 0.95. You could have written it as 95 over 100, but you can just also put it in fraction form. And now we're getting really close. We know that we can say that the gram amount of a penny as far as dollar value is 96 cents. So for every 1 gram of copper, not penny anymore, we've taken the copper from the penny we're talking about, I know I get 0.96 cents. But we don't want to know the cent value, we want to know the dollar value. So we know that there are 100 cents in $1. That's 6 conversions, but whoa, you can do it if you just know again where you're going, where you're starting from, and you just make sure that as you go, you're canceling your units. We did quart to quart, pint to pint, penny to pennies, the penny to a weight. That weight in grams of a penny went from weight of grams, a penny and a gram, to the weight of copper. Weight of copper to cents, and then cents to finally our unit of the dollar. That unit's left. That's pretty cool. So now we just grab our handy dandy calculator. And we're going to multiply everything on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 8 times the 2 times the 1,072 times the 3.11 times the 0.95 times the 0.96, and then there was just the 1 there, but I'm going to hit equals. So that's everything on the top, and the only thing I have to divide by on the bottom is by 100. So I'm going to do that, divide this by 100, and we get, as a rough estimate, that she has about $486.5 worth of pennies in that collection of 8 quarts of pennies. She has about a total value of $486. That's how we do it. Now, I'm a little bit suspicious that you can get 1,000 pennies into a pint. But if that's true, then that is used in our calculation. This came from just an internet search that, I guess, so the value of a penny, where is that, is about 0.96 cents per gram. But at least it gives them an idea. You're running near $400 maybe as an amount of money you can get. Thanks. Bye-bye.